Hi, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ronda Jackson, your host, serial entrepreneur and small business advocate, and welcome to the Road to Recovery. Joining us today is Warren Cooley, the managing principal of Warren Cooley and Associates, and he is here to give us a wonderful formula to market ourselves in this next normal. Welcome, Warren. How are you today?
Thank you, Rhonda. Good to be with you today. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, you're welcome, and welcome back. You were on
Thank
an
you.
earlier
That's right.
episode.
Second time.
Yes. So you know the drill. You know that I like to ask the guests what word they would use to describe our now or where we're at in the world. What would your word be?
My word would be preparation.
Okay, say a little more.
So preparation. We're going to talk today about marketing and if you think of, I want you to think about. I want to take people to a place where they get down into the depths of preparing for marketing, for good marketing action, because there's so many buzzwords that float around and so many options out there to apply marketing and do this and do that and do social media and everything else. And I think that we lack good preparation in why we're doing what we're doing and how we can take steps to be effective, so that at the end of the day we're doing marketing to have the cash register ring. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yes, yes. So now that's three words: preparation, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
No, I
you can
love it.
take ka-ching.
Well, one of the things, and you and I have had some extensive conversations about this, is about adjusting. So I'll use myself as an example. None of what I've been doing for the past 90 days
Right.
anywhere resembles my, established business model, from a strategy, from tactics, from approach, and my responsiveness, and do so, right? Because of, everything that the world is going through right now. So I guess one of the things that I was hoping that you would help for myself and the other business owners is, how do we overlay a marketing plan, or what are the key components that we need to realign ourselves in order to, continue down a successful road to recovery.
Right.
So thank you for being here today. So where will we start then, Warren? What's the first step to that new marketing plan?
Well, I think the first step, the first of all, I'd like to acknowledge that this is a extremely difficult time for those of us who operate small, medium-sized businesses. We have different problems than big businesses do, but an extremely difficult time. And unfortunately, it's going to be this way for a while. And I think what makes it so challenging for us is just uncertainty. And so I'm envisioning we collectively own a business. It may be a walk-in kind of a business. It may be a business that's a professional service business that's service provision. So it's either selling product or selling services. We had customers prior to the middle of March. We had customers, and middle of March came, and we were directed to close our business. And so we've been closed for a considerable period of time. And so two things happened. Our business has been closed, and there's a whole host of, because we're people, so there's a whole host of issues that arise within us. And then our market, our people who are our customers, there's a whole host of uncertainty that's risen in them. So the news, either you've experienced it yourself, or if you haven't experienced it yourself, there's news all over the place that you'll read about people that have opened their business and customers they're not there.
Oh, yeah.
I read something downtown LA. Somebody had a successful, wasn't a restaurant, it was a clothing store business. They opened, and I think during the first week there were days when they only had one or two people. So we're not gonna sustain our business on that level of revenue, obviously.
So how do we get more people in the door?
So here's I think you need to go back to basics. I'm a fundamentals person. I just think fundamentals, and I think one of the reasons that our marketing is not successful is because, first of all, we haven't defined what marketing is. And second is we haven't gotten down in the base levels of preparing for a marketing approach. So at this point in time, we've got our customers fall into, I would say, two categories. We've got people who were our previous customers,
Okay.
and presumably all of you have a way of contacting and interacting with those people. You've got email addresses, they're friends on social media, you've got different ways to interact with them. And then there are prospective new customers. And so I want to talk to you a bit about this morning is the first thing I think you need to do is you need to define who your target markets are. Now, what is a target market? Target market is a group of either people or a group of businesses or government types, B, G, or C's, that have common characteristics. And common characteristics can be anything. Common characteristics can be gender, common characteristics can be age, common characteristics can be park and recreation departments of cities of 50,000 people or less, whatever it is. But when you think of your target market, you're only going to, typically we only have 3 to 5 that really are our target markets. Okay. And the easiest way to give life to these target markets is to personalize it. So I'm going to think of it, and I'm going to encourage you to think of it as one person, kind of personalize it, whether it's government, whether it's customers, C people, or whether it's B2B, so it's a business that you sell to. Personalize it. Think of it as a person.
So you're telling us to identify who in as much exact demographic as we can.
That's right.
Our ideal, who the perfect customer would be.
Yeah.
So we have that in mind. We have that. I think I've heard people call it like an avatar.
Yeah.
So we have that avatar. We have that avatar in mind.
Right.
And then we want them to ultimately buy things from us.
Yeah.
So then the transition from the identity to the purchase, what's in the middle there? What happens?
So what's in the middle? So marketing has a goal. So marketing is not sales. Mm-hmm. So the goal of marketing is communication. It's sort of a one-way communication street. It's your business, communicating to that target market, those target markets that you identified, communicating with them, a consistent message, not 10 different messages, but a consistent message.
Wait, not one a day? I thought that I was supposed to come up with a new one.
Not a new one every day. Be consistent. Be consistent, because what you're doing in your marketing communication is if you envisioned a level playing field, and all businesses who sell the same product are on the same level in the playing field, and what you're doing marketing for is to raise your awareness in the eyes of this target market. You want to raise the awareness of your business and the products and services that you offer. You want to raise it up so that people see you instead of seeing everybody else that's part of the playing field. And that's a competitor analysis, which we'll talk about in a minute. But anyway, so marketing's done its job. When the message is clear and the interest level is high in this target group of people to buy what you have to sell, then there's another process that takes place, which we won't spend time talking specifically about today, but is sales, because salesmanship is not marketing. Salesmanship basically hands the baton, if you will. Think of it as a baton. Right. Marketing did its job. Here you go, salesmanship. You take over and you convert this interest level to a sale. So you seal the deal. That's kind of how my short phrase. You seal the deal. So that's the intent. That's the intent of marketing.
So we have our one customer, our one avatar, our single consistent message, right? Mm-hmm. And then, but it sounds like that messaging, you and I've kind of discussed this before, and I want you to share more for the viewers. That message actually is supposed to solve a problem, yes, or address a problem.
Yeah, well, I think people, I mean, a good way to look at it is what pain are you solving? Now, pain, I don't know that the word pain is the best word to use, but let's just,
Today.
what problem, what pain are you solving for people? And remember, this is where invention gets into play, because there's a number of different ways to solve a problem. Just because people are buying this product or this service and have been for uh, 5 years doesn't mean that you can't convert them to a new way, a new solution. But that's an education process. That's kind of up to you to convince them that this new option you have, new way of them to solve whatever problem they're facing is uh, that's up to you. And that's the exciting part. The exciting part of marketing and communication is basically how do you take what you've created, what you are selling, and I'm always looking up in marketing. How do I raise the awareness, raise the awareness, raise the awareness, and set myself apart? I
Right.
need to be unique.
So okay, so we have a unique solution to
Hmm.
whatever that problem is. So
Right.
not just standard
Yeah,
basic,
not just a solution
yeah,
solution.
but unique. Things that differentiate us from our
Right.
competitors. So,
And it
or,
can be, what just parenthetically there, it can be, every unique solution doesn't mean that there's a new unique product you have to develop or a new unique system. It could be pricing. I mean, it could be same product, but you've got a different pricing model you're going to do. If you're selling services, you've determined that your target market group would really be open to subscription services as opposed to one-off each time they buy it. I mean, there's a multitude of different things you can do that make it different.
to make it different. I love that. One of the other things that you and I talked about previously was adjusting our expectation as the business owner. So you had kind of talked about making sure that we understand that pretty much we're never going to return back to the way business was.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know that anybody knows what the next new normal is.
Hmm.
Uh, it's not going to be quick.
Hmm.
And yet we have businesses that need to survive during this evolutionary time. And so I think anything you can do to in your communication with your customers. The challenge is basically to get if you're in a brick and mortar store, to get people to actually walk in the door of your store.
Right.
And so you need to probably think of different ways that you can sell. Uh, can you sell online? Can you uh, think of different ways that you can sell that don't require everybody that buys anything from you to walk in the door?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the new normal is going to be less revenue. It's going to be a period of time where our revenue is going to be significantly challenged unless we've been online, and online's been our business model all along, and online sellers are doing quite well. So, but recognize that and nurture probably the first level. Going back to a statement I made earlier about you've got existing customers and you've got aspirational customers, new customers, and your best chance to generate quicker revenue is to figure out ways to get your existing customer base to again frequent you and buy services or buy product from you. And so be sensitive to their issues. That's why you need this avatar. That maybe one of the avatars is existing customers, and this avatar is you need to know about what are their top 3 to 5 concerns. What are the top 3 to 5 reasons that keep them from coming back to your business and being the kind of customer they were before? Is it health issues, safety issues, whatever it is? And then do all that you can do to communicate to them that you know the issues, and you're taking care of the issues, and then add just one more element. So one more element would be, I'm doing all of these normal things. Everybody's doing social distancing. If masks are an issue, they're wearing masks. I got sanitizer, but I'm also doing X, and X sets me apart from everybody else.
Right.
So that you have to think that way.
Okay.
It's going to be slow going.
Okay. No, and so that's what these conversations are for.
Yeah.
They're to
road to recovery.
Road to recovery. It's
Yeah.
not a destination. There's several.
Yeah.
I think I've used the analogy that there's several exits. You know, we even have some potholes that we weren't expecting,
Yeah.
that are really, causing, I won't say businesses to stifle, because that's not fair, because to your point, there are businesses that boom, that actually more than prospered in this particular economy. And I don't mind that ebb and flow of what it takes for us to be that, economic engine, and for us to run, and sometimes some pistons get to rest while other pistons are pumping, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once we kind of get back to where that's a flow, then, that ride gets a little smoother. But I do want to truly, absolutely thank you. You always bring so much education to these conversations, that, giving us that thoughtfulness behind why we're going to do things. I don't know that, I just want to acknowledge that. I really appreciate that you do that for us as a business community. So thank you.
I think of a statement. I've often thought, you made this statement, Ronda and I kind of talk. We don't just talk during the show. I'll say that. So we have ongoing conversations, and one of the things that I heard her say in a recent conversation to me, which I appreciated, was, I make her think of the hard things. Mm-hmm. And I think that's my goal, not to just create hard things to make you think about, but to force us as business owners, because I'm in this with you. I own a business, so how do we think of the hard things, and then think of solutions to overcome the hard things? But if we don't think about them, if we just stay up at kind of a surface level and deal with the surface level and spend all of our money on social media or whatever else is the buzzword of the day, we're never going to get the results. And so if we dig down and deal with the hard issues, we're going to come up with some solutions that are going to make our businesses more successful than they were if we just stay surface level.
Yeah. And before any of this happened. So
exactly.
So I want to invite all of you to continue to watch the videos, continue to stay abreast of what's happening, ways that we can help and encourage you to grow your business, sustain your business. And if you need anything, please like, comment, subscribe down below. I normally look at the comments on a daily basis. So if you have questions or you have topics that you'd like us to cover, I am happy to go and use friends like Warren, for their education, for their resource, that they can continue to bring us that information, right here on the road to recovery. And Warren, just before we close, will you also share your website or best contact information?
So my website is econdevconsult.com. Or you can get to the same website by just putting warrencooley.com. That's an easier way to do it.
All right.
And telephone number, if you want to reach me by phone, that's fine. Area code 805-390-3985. And you can see my profile on LinkedIn.
All right, beautiful. Thank you again, Warren. And thank you all for joining us on the road to recovery.